Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's a very exciting topic today. We're very excited about the content that we have for everybody. Um, before we do get started, we do just give about 5 minutes for everybody to join. Yeah, if you have any questions, we are going to have a Q&A section at the very end. Yeah, do go ahead, pop your questions in the comment section. We're going to go through all of your questions afterwards and answer as far as we can. If not, we will be reaching out to you personally and answering your questions. We will comment on your comments and reply to your questions as well. Yeah, tell me where everybody's from. What is the weather like for you guys? We're finally having some relief from the heat in South Africa. It's currently 23 degrees Celsius, which is about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, it's been a rough summer for us, but at least it's cooling down a little bit. Um, Hi, Chris. Yeah, say hello in the comments. Tell us where you're from. Tell us what the weather is like. Also, if you have suggestions for future webinars, pop those in the comments as well. We love to accommodate everybody and go over topics that people want to learn about. So pop that in the comment section as well. We have Jerry from Atlanta. Hi, Jerry. And we have Pamela from Jamestown. Um, yeah, we have a couple of people from South Africa as well today. That's super exciting. Um, oh, well, okay. Thank you for correcting me. Apparently, that is 76 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, well, my conversion is terrible. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, Chris says it's been raining. Where is that? Oh my gosh, I love the rain. I love the rain so much. It's pretty cloudy currently by me as well, so it's quite pleasant. I hate summer. I absolutely detest summer. So I'm so happy about winter coming. But I feel like everybody who experiences snow and very cold winters, we don't get snow in South Africa, so I don't think we have the problem that most people have where they have to deal with snow. So winter for us is very pleasant. But I think some people who experience snow most of like 6 months a year, they, they just can't wait for it to be over. Okay, so we have Sharon from Nashville. Hi Sharon. Hi Dan. Shannon as well. Jerry and Mary. Oh, awesome. We have people from all over the world. That's pretty amazing. It's always lovely to see everybody connecting and everybody coming together. And everybody in one place. The internet is truly a magical thing. Um, we have Brian from South Carolina as well. So yeah, again, for everybody just joining, we are going to have a Q&A section at the very end. If you have questions throughout the webinar, please pop them in the comment section. We will be going through those. If we don't get through all of them, we will be replying to your comments after the webinar as well. But we are going to try and get through all of them during the Q&A section as well. We have a lot of content that we will be going through. So most likely your questions will be answered, but if not, we will definitely go over that at the very end. Okay, we can give it another minute. So if you don't have any tea or coffee ready just yet, now is your time to. Well, I don't think you can get it in a minute, but yeah, bummer. Okay. Okay, well, I think we can get started. First of all, welcome everybody. Today we are going over strategies to get your book from idea all the way through to publishing. So it's a very exciting webinar. It's one that's been requested quite frequently as well. So we're very happy to finally get that going. I can introduce myself. My name is Michaela. I'm the senior sales agent here at the Urban Writers. I've been a ghostwriter for over 7 years. I've both basically specialized in fiction and nonfiction, but mostly children's books and fantasy. I have also done a lot of nonfiction. So, yeah, I've written over 270 books for the urban writers specifically. And I've been on the admin staff for 4.5 years, going on 5 years now. So, basically part of the furniture at this point. Um, then I can take you a little bit, or take you through the Urban Writers and who we are. The Urban Writers was founded in 2018 by Marco and Natasha Matinho. We started out with a handful of writers and editors, and external editors actually, and we've grown from having 5 writers that only does nonfiction, to having over, oh my goodness, my numbers, over 5,000 creatives on the platform currently. We also have over 20,000 happy customers on the platform, and we've written over 1 billion words as well. So if you have anything that you need ghostwritten, any cover designs, any content creation really that you need done, you know where to go. Everything is done under one roof. Now, our agenda today. We're going to go over the typical journey from point A to point C. We're going to go over the 5 easy steps, so the 5 steps of the journey itself. We're going to go through some challenges and tips on how to overcome those challenges. And then I'm also going to go through what we are going to be doing next time. And then, of course, we're going to have the Q&A section at the very end. Now, first of all, our typical journey. There, when you are publishing, this is the typical journey that you are going to have. It's going to start at your research and development phase. It's going to go to your content creation, then to your editing and revisions, then to your design and format, and finally to the publishing stage. So those are the 5 steps that you'd take. There are sub steps basically that you have to take inside of each of the main steps as well, but we'll be going over that. But this is what your journey is going to look like. Now, step 1, research and development. The first step within research and development is literally crawling. You are going to need to come up with your idea first. So it's going to be your idea. You have to check Amazon and you have to share your ideas with people and see what they think about it as well. An amazing tool that you can use for this as well is Dibbly Create. It is a tool that the urban writers, it's basically a part of the urban writers. Dibbly Create is absolutely fantastic. It helps you with research, with market research, with outline creation. We'll go over that later on as well. But it is an absolutely amazing tool for publishers. So definitely do check that out. We will be adding links in the comment sections for everybody to join, or that's checking out the webinar, to go and follow as well, and to check out Dibbly Create. Next up is your market research. Again, you can use Dibbly Create for this step, but you need to understand your audience and you need to determine the requirements. Now, usually with step 1, you're going to decide on your topic. So, for example, your topic is going to be chair yoga for elders, or for retirement. You already know, okay, your target audience is going to be people who are retired. With that, you need to then determine the requirements. So you have to check out your competitors. You have to do some research yourself, read blogs. As I said, read books in that specific genre as well, to know exactly what's going on and what you need to add in your book to A, make it unique, and B, be what people are looking for. The next step is to plan and to budget. Now, first of all, you need to determine your budget. How much are you willing to spend on the creation of your book? You need to know that your marketing and the publishing part of your book, it is going to cost money. If you are just publishing your book without doing any form of marketing, you are not going to maximize the sales that you could get if you are marketing properly. So you do need to budget for both the creation and the marketing aspect of publishing your book. You then need to determine if you want to outsource and what parts of the book do you want to outsource. Do you want to write the book yourself, or do you want to hire a ghostwriter to do that? Usually, if a customer wants to do some of the content creation themselves, it is the writing of the content, and then they'd outsource the editing, the formatting, the cover designs, book descriptions, narration, those sorts of things. So you need to determine what you want to outsource and what you are willing to do and what you're able to do as well. And then the next step is to get quotes. So once you have decided what you want to outsource, go ahead, reach out to companies, reach out to people, and see what this is going to cost you. This is also going to help you with your budget. So next up is your outline. Your outline is the skeleton of your book. It is the most important part of your book. You need a good outline. So you can check out blogs and get some templates that you can build your outline on. You can hire a ghostwriter to do this as well. The Urban Writers does. We do outlines as well. And of course, you can use Dibbly Create for outlines too. Now, on the Urban Writers website, we have amazing blogs on publishing and the creation of your books. And we will be sharing all of those resources with you so you have easy access to everything. And we have templates that you can download from our outline blog where you can just go ahead and fill it in, and then you have the proper structure of your book. But again, you can use Dibbly Create as well. It is AI powered, basically. So yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I use it personally for my personal writing too. So because I personally hate doing outlines, so Dibbly Create is fantastic for that. Okay, now that we have your outline ready, we know who your target audience is, we know your topic, we can move on to step number 2, which is going to be creating your content. So we can move on to the next slide. My helper can, there we go. Yeah, so that is step number 2. So this is to actually create your content. This is the best part of the entire journey for me personally, is the creation of your content. So there are 2 ways that you can do this. First one is to do it yourself. The second one is to outsource. Let's go through these separately, and that's going to also allow you to make a better informed decision on what you want to do. So if you want to do it yourself, you need to research the content. You need to read other books in the genre. I've mentioned it before. You can't read enough books in the genre that you're publishing in. It is very, very important. And then you need to write your first draft. Whenever somebody asks me for any advice on writing, it is your first draft is not supposed to be perfect. It is supposed to be bad. If it's good, you're probably doing it wrong. Your first draft is supposed to be terrible. And then from there, you can refine the content and move it on to the second draft. Okay, so your first draft, don't edit, literally just get your words on the paper, whether you're writing by hand and then converting it into Word, or you're doing it in Dibbly Create, or if you're doing it in Google Docs, then converting it. Your first draft should be terrible, and then you can always edit from that. If you write thinking that it's fine that your first draft is terrible, it's going to be easier to write. You can always edit a bad page. You can't edit an empty page. So just keep that in mind. Then we can go to outsourcing. So the first step is choosing the ghostwriter, choosing which company you want to go with. If you go with the Urban Writers, for example, you need to choose your outline, choose the ghostwriter. You have to give the ghostwriter your outline, or if the said ghostwriter did the outline, you don't have to really follow this step because they already have the outline. But basically, the ghostwriter can do everything for you. You need to make your requirements and expectations super, super clear. It is very important for the ghostwriter to know exactly what you want, and you need to collaborate and communicate with them throughout the entire process. If you don't do this, chances are you might be disappointed because the writer didn't have input from you, it's very, very easy for something to get miscommunicated or lost in translation. So definitely go ahead and communicate the entire time. And then you need to review and provide feedback throughout the process as well. With the urban writers, you get to view the document the entire time it is being written, and make comments on said documents as well. And we encourage you to go ahead and do that. Keeping in mind that whether you work with the urban writers or a different ghostwriter, your initial requirements, so your outline that you are providing and your initial requirements, even if they did an outline for you and approved that outline, that needs to be adhered to. So changes that you then decide you want to make may incur additional costs as well. So stick with your outline, and that is why it's very, very important to make sure that your requirements and your outline is 100% before you get started in this step specifically. Because you can't really change it afterwards. Or if you do, it is going to cost a little bit extra. Then once your content has been created, we can move on to step 3, which is your editing and revision phase. Now, whether you are creating the content yourself or if you're getting it outsourced, this is crucial to any content creation. Okay, so the first one is to edit your documents and to request revisions. So, of course, when you are doing it yourself, once your second draft is ready, you can go in and you can self-edit. Okay, you don't need a professional editor for this specifically. You need to edit it first, and then it gets sent to a professional editor. When you are outsourcing, this is where you are going to review the entire manuscript and then request your revisions from there as well. Okay, it is very, very important to remember that you have revisions that a ghostwriter is offering you for a reason. The ghostwriter wants you to be happy. They want you to be proud of the content. They want you to use them again as well. So you need to be happy with the content that is delivered to you. And that's why there are revisions for you to use. Then we move on to the professional edit. So if you're doing it yourself, the professional editor, you will then have to hire someone. I don't recommend doing the edit yourself. You always need to have a second or third pair of eyes even on your content. When you are doing traditional publishing, okay, you are the publishing house itself, they have multiple editors that are going to go through your documents and edit it. But if you are self-publishing, there will only be one editor that goes through your content. So it is definitely very important to get a good editor to start with. Decide whether you want a third or a second editor to go in as well, so a third set of eyes to go over the content, and then move forward from there. It is very, very important to get a good editor. When you are having it ghostwritten with the urban writers, again as an example, an editor is included in all writing packages. So you will have your document professionally edited with that as well. They will go over everything. They will make sure that the grammar, the spelling, all those sorts of things are there. Of course, you do need to decide what kind of editing you want. There are 2 different styles of editing. One is essential, so that's literally just your grammar, spelling, punctuation, your basic editing, your basic errors in manuscripts. And then you have your line editing, which includes stuff like your syntax errors, sentence structures, wordiness, redundancies. And line editing is what I always, always recommend to people, especially if you're writing the book yourself, because it's very easy to get used to your own mistakes and your own wordiness. And this line editor will be able to get rid of that. Next up is having beta readers. Beta readers is very, very underrated. It's very important to have people read your book and give you their honest opinion. You don't have to hire people for this either. You can send your manuscript to family members, to friends, people you trust to be honest with you, and they can give their honest opinion, and then you can revise your book accordingly. Okay, so it's very important to get more sets of eyes on your book as well, not just the editors who are looking at it from an editor's point of view. You want people to give you feedback from a reader's point of view as well to make sure that it is value for money for that specific topic as well. Okay, and then it is your final polishing. So once you get feedback back from your beta readers, when maybe you've gone over it again, you want to polish some things here and there, this is the step where you are going to do that. Okay, so this is basically getting your manuscript 100% before you move on to your next steps. Which brings us to step number 4, your design and format. Now, if you're doing traditional publishing, this step isn't as important as the publishing house that you are working with will be doing the design, the marketing, the formatting, all of those things. They will be handling that. But if you are self publishing, these things are crucial. You need this in order to publish. Not all of them, but like the narration is optional. It's recommended to get narration done, but it is optional. But you do need to get your formatting, your copywriting, and your cover designs done. Okay. Let's go through these step by step. Your formatting will be your ebook formatting and your paperback formatting. Your ebook formatting is going to allow your book to be uploaded to KDP. It's going to be your Kindle version, basically. Okay. Then your paperback formatting is going to allow your book to be printed. So if you go with Amazon, for example, Amazon prints the books on demand. So as people are purchasing your books, they print it, they send it off. You don't have to sit with 1,000 copies in your house. That's basically how it works. But it needs to be in the correct format in order for them to print it properly. So this is where you'll do that formatting as well. Your ebook formatting and your paperback formatting are completely different. One cannot be used for the other. There are different requirements for both parts or for both versions. Your copywriting would be your book description. So this is what's going on the back cover of your book, as well as the landing page of your book as well. So the description that people are going to read of your book, that is what's going to pop up there. Usually copywriters have the HTML format included as well. If you go with the open writers, the HTML is included, and the HTML is going to basically customize the the text and the font on the landing page. So it's going to bold some words, it's going to italize some things. If you don't have the HTML formatting, it will just it won't look good, it won't be interesting at all, and the formatting will be messed up as well. Then we have your cover design. Your cover design is very, very important. People do judge books by their covers. Your cover design needs to be eye-catching, it needs to be unique, it needs to stand out. Because if you're doing a very popular niche, it is popular for a reason, and there are thousands of books in that niche as well. Your cover needs to stand out and it needs to make your book look unique. So it is very important to have a very good cover designer. Usually, you need your ebook and your paperback formatting for your covers. Again, those are two different, they have different requirements when you are uploading to KDP because the paperback has the back cover and the spine as well. And then if you are doing narration, you need the square cover for the narration as well. Now, with the open writers, all three of those formats are included by default, and then you can choose to add on the hardcover as well. But usually those three formats, it's a very good place to start. And then finally, you have your narration. Again, as mentioned before, your narration is recommended, but you don't need it right away. You can get it done at a later point as well. But narration really does boost your sales. It makes you look more reliable because anybody who has an audiobook, people are more inclined to purchase those books because more money is spent on the book, it's more value more value for their money. So it's very important to get the narration done as well. Alrighty, and finally we have the publishing part of it. This is where you're going to choose if you want to do traditional publishing or if you want to do self-publishing. Okay. Of course, you need to choose, or you need to have this idea in mind when you get started as well, because it is going to influence the way that you do step number 4. But these are the steps that you need to go through in order to get both of these done. Okay. So for self-publishing, you need to claim your copyright. That's the most important thing. Once your manuscript is done, you don't even need your cover or anything yet. Copyright your manuscript. This is also important for traditional publishing. Always copyright your content. So you can just go to your local copywriting office. I believe it's copyright.gov is the website that you can go to. I'll just confirm that, and we'll add that to the resources that we'll be sharing with you guys. But that is for the US. It's usually where you can go and claim your copyright. Then you can select your publishing platform. So you can choose, okay, you want to go with KDP, you want to go with Ingram Spark. Barnes and Noble also have their self-publishing platform up and going now as well. So you need to decide where you want to publish. There are also companies that publish for you, so they publish on all of the different platforms for you, so you don't have to do it, but you do have to hire them. So definitely do your research in that regard. Then upload your content. Once your content is 100% and you're happy with everything, you can upload it to your desired platform. And then you need to market your book. As I mentioned before, marketing is super, super, super important. It is something that a lot of people do neglect when they are publishing. So definitely market your book. We have a different webinar on the marketing of your book as well, when we will be hosting more webinars in the future about marketing your book, but definitely check that out. It's awesome. It's going to give you a lot of tips and tricks for that. And of course, we have a lot of blogs on the Urban Writers website as well that you can go through and see, Facebook marketing, Instagram, the Amazon marketing itself as well. So definitely go through all of that. And then you have to launch and track your performance. It is important to keep track of how your book is performing throughout the entire process, because if it's at any point it is declining, you might need to update the marketing that you're doing. You might have to even update the content in your book, because you can, if you go with KDP, you can basically take the book down and update it. So if it's for chair yoga for retirees 2022 and it's now 2023, you have to go ahead and update the cover and update the content inside as well to make it more relevant. Then for traditional publishing, you are going to need you need to query agents and publishers. So you need to reach out to people. You need to do very, very in-depth research when you are doing traditional publishing. There are many, many, many publishing houses. All of them have different royalty structures, commission structures. Some of them don't do your marketing for you. Some of them just launch. Some of them only launch in certain areas. So you have to do in-depth research, and you need to reach out to them and ask them for quotes and on further details about them publishing your book for you as well. Then you need to craft a compelling query letter. We have a blog specifically dedicated to this. Your query letter is basically, it's to convince the publisher to publish your book. So it's going to tell the publisher a little bit more about your book. It's going to tell the publisher about okay, this is what your book is about. This is your target audience. This is the research that you've done on the topic. Basically convincing them to purchase your book. That is very, very important. Most publishing houses require query letters, And even those that don't require it, it is good to send those to them anyway. Then waiting for a response. This is where a lot of people do they do give up at this point as well, because you are going to get a lot of rejection letters, and you're going to wait a very long time to hear back from some publishers as well. This is why most people prefer doing self-publishing, because they don't have to wait that long. Publishers tend to have a very niche market that they focus on as well. So when you are doing the marketing or the research for your book, make sure that you are researching what publishers are publishing at that moment in time as well, so you know exactly what you can write and what you can give them to pique their interest. Okay, but you are going to get, again, many rejection letters. Many famous authors got hundreds of rejection letters as well. You only need one acceptance letter to publish. So just keep at it. Then comes the editing and production. So once your book has been picked up by a traditional publisher, they will do the editing of the book and the production of the cover designs, the book descriptions, and then finally it will be the book launch and the distribution. So usually the book launch will require you to do a book tour. Most of the times it requires a book tour, but yeah, basically they will do the launch and the distribution and all of the marketing for you. So yeah, that all gets done in step 5. From there, they will update the marketing. They will track your book, track sales. From usually, if you're doing fiction, for example, and you're doing a series, usually they will sign you for that series. So from there, you need to write your following books as well in order to publish and to stick to their deadlines. You have to stick to their deadlines. They're super strict with that. Okay, those are the 5 steps. Now you are published. You've created your content. You've published everything. And now let's go to some tips and tricks that you might run into, some challenges that you might run into, and some tricks that will assist you with dealing with that. So continue doing research. The markets are always changing. There's always something new on the market. There's always a new interest. It is very important to keep doing research, to keep your market entertained, your target audience, to make sure that they are always entertained, and to make sure that the topic of your book stays relevant and all the content inside of the book also stays relevant. Okay. Next is rejection from publishers. I mentioned this previously. This is a challenge that you are going to face. It is very important to keep your head high. It's important to know that it's not personal. Don't take it personally. It might just not be the topic that they're looking for at that moment in time. They might be getting 200 of them, 200 books like these a day. They're actually getting in that they have to go through. Might take time. You are going to get rejected. That is a fact. You are the first person or the first publishing companies to get back to you. Most of the time, they will not be the ones accepting your book. So prepare yourself for that. Go into it knowing that you are going to face rejection and that it is not personal. Then dealing with feedback, this kind of ties in with the rejection from publishers as well. This is when you are dealing with beta readers as well as reviews once you have posted your book and once you've published your book as well. Okay. People always have something negative to say. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Freedom of speech and all that. It's, again, important not to take it personally. Everything is personal taste, it's personal preference. Sometimes people just need something to complain about, and your book happens to be the thing that they choose to complain about. So it's important to make sure that you are not taking it personally. Don't let it get you down. You are going to get negative reviews. Just brush them off and focus on the positive ones. Then your marketing and promotion. This is both a tip and a challenge. So your marketing and promotion cannot stop. You need to continue to do your marketing for your book. If sure, you're going to at some point rely on word of mouth, but if you don't do the marketing of your book further down the line as well, the hype around your book is going to die down, which means that you're not going to sell as many copies. So again, very important to keep your marketing going. Don't neglect it. Don't fall off the wagon. Keep marketing. Next is consistency and persistence. This has a bunch of little subtopics within it. This is with writing. You need to be persistent and consistent with your writing. Make sure that you're writing, like the quality of, if you're doing a series, that the quality of your series are that they're all 100%, that you're happy with all of them. You need to consistently publish. You need to be persistent when you are sending out your query letters to publishers. You can't just stop. You can't let any negativity get you down. It's going to be very, very difficult in the business for you if you do let it get to you. So you need to be very consistent and very persistent during this process. Again, consistency with marketing, with writing, with your content, with sending stuff to publishers. It's very, very important. And then don't try to do everything yourself. If you are not a graphic designer, don't try to design your book itself, so your cover design. It's the cover designers, professional cover designers, they know what sell. They can give you advice. They can make sure that the nothing gets copywritten, or there isn't a copyright strike, or that they're using the correct images. It is important to admit to yourself that you can't do everything and to outsource some things, because a writer isn't an editor isn't a copywriter isn't a narrator. You need to ensure that you're hiring the right people, and you know your limits as well. Alrighty. That's basically it for publishing your book. If you have any questions regarding this, again, pop them in the comments. I will be going over that as well. So if we do run out of time at any point, we will be reaching out to you as well, and responding to your comments and your questions. So go ahead, pop them in the comments. If you want to reach out to us personally, you can reach out to us at sales@dibbly.com. We will add that in the chats as well. So go, reach out to us at any point. You can visit us at theurbanwriters.com as well. There's a contact us page. You can find all of our contact information there. Always happy to help, always happy to hop on a call or even a live chat and answer any questions that you might have. We don't assist with the publishing ourselves, but we do assist, or we do give advice wherever we can. And we have a lot of resources for you to read through and to go through as well. Okay, so next up will be our niches and genres. So this is going to be how to choose the niche and the genre that's going to make you the most money. It's going to be on the 11th of April at 11 a.m. Our webinars are usually at 11 a.m. And then we're going to go through why a good niche and genre are important. We're going to go through how to choose a niche and genre, and then also challenges and tips, and then our what's next and our Q&A at the very end. So if you have any questions regarding that as well, please pop it in the chat too, and we will be able to add that to that webinar and see if we can answer some of your more frequently asked questions as well. Okay, let's move over to the Q&A section. Let's quickly, I'm gonna go to the top. So the question, are there tools that I can use for researching topics and markets? Yes. So we do, of course, have Dibbly Create that you can use for this. There are other researching tools as well. Google, of course, being fantastic for this kind of thing. But if you do want to check out Dibly Create, the link is currently on the screen. You can go there, you can visit that. It's fantastic for any of your researching needs. Kip is the little AI assistant that we have. It's absolutely fantastic. It assists in text and in a chat as well. So when you are writing your content in using Dibly Create, you can ask Kip for assistance there as well. Alrighty, next question. How do I choose a target audience? Again, it's just all personal preference. But usually when you choose your topic, your target audience will come by default. Unless you have something that's okay, you want a series that is yoga, but you want yoga for children, yoga for teens, yoga for adults, yoga for elders. So at that point, you've also already chosen your target audience. But yeah, it needs to match the style and tone of your book as well as the niche. Okay, what are the best traditional publishers? This is a very difficult question, because of course there are your big publishers like Bloomsbury and Penguin House, those sorts of publishers that are absolutely massive, and people work with them for a reason. Okay, they work with them because they're good. However, when you are publishing and when you're just starting out, it might be good to do your own research of other publishers as well, so that you know exactly the kind of royalties that you will be getting. Some publishers only give you 40 to 30% royalties, and they take the rest because they do the cover, the marketing, all those sorts of things. So it's important to check the royalties that they will be giving you as well, and what you are comfortable with. Some again have higher royalties that they take, and for that they do a lot more in publishing your book. So it is personal preference in this as well. Do I still need to claim copyrights when I'm going to publish traditionally? Yes. So whether you are publishing traditionally or self-publishing, it is very, very important that you claim the copyrights to your work. When you are publishing and when you're sending it, there are scam publishers out there as well. It is important to claim your copyrights before you send it out to people to read, and as soon as you send it to them, they can go ahead and claim copyrights as well. So because they have that content, and because you haven't claimed it yet, they can claim it. So claim it immediately once you've written it, or once it's ready to be published. Okay, Chris says, I'm working with the Urban Writers right now to create my book, and I wanted to ask how the promotion of the book go on Urban Writers side of things. So we don't do the publishing or the promotion of books itself. We do have resources that you can go and read up about. We only handle the content creation at the moment. So we don't do any of the marketing itself. But again, we have resources, and we have a webinar already, and we will be doing more webinars on this topic in the future. Okay, let me go. If I'm using a ghostwriter, does that mean that the ghostwriter will also follow the step? And if not, was it only applicable to me? Most of the time, ghostwriters in that genre have written books in that genre before. So they specialize in those genres because they have written many books in that genre, and they have read and written many books in that genre before. If you're just getting started in that genre, if it's not something that you are familiar with, it is important for you to do it. A ghostwriter is really going to be familiar with those topics and those sorts of niches. So no, it doesn't really apply to a ghostwriter because they are already specialized in those topics. When using the Urban Writers, I'm currently in the process of my first book. The content is still being written, and I'm almost finished with working with a designer for the cover design. The package included editing, as you mentioned. Am I finding a separate editor to edit the book within the Urban Writers? Yes. So once your book has been completed and you have approved the content, you will be able to hire a separate editor. So the ghostwriter and the editor are two separate people. They cannot be the same person because, as I mentioned before, you do get used to your own mistakes. So you have to go ahead and get a separate editor. So once the writing has been completed and you're happy with the content of your book, you can go ahead and approve it, and you will then be able to hire a ghostwriter the exact same way as you got a writer for your book. You'll be able to get an editor for the content as well. Can the person writing the content do this, or is it done by somebody else that I need to find at Urban Writers? So with the writing of your book, the writer does the ebook formatting. So they automate with the Urban Writers, for example, we do the ebook formatting while we are writing the content itself. So it is delivered in ebook formatting by default. If you are getting it ghostwritten by somebody else, or if you're writing it yourself, you would need to have it formatted separately for your formatting, or for ebook and for paperback. Uh, Along with that, your book description, it's usually a professional copywriter that needs to do your book description, because they're going to use keywords, they're going to optimize the optimize the keywords. So when people are searching on Amazon, so the HTML is going to allow people to search on Amazon for your book, and those keywords are going to pop up basically. And then of course the copywriter specializes in HTML as well. Alrighty, writing my first book and have a bundle package. What editing services will I receive? Grammar, line editing, beta readers. Okay, so actually, just with the previous question as well, the formatting and the copywriters for your book descriptions are available in all of your are available on the platform. So on the Urban Writers platform, those freelancers are available to hire from us. So you don't have to outsource them if you're doing it through us. Everybody is on the platform. Okay. Now okay, what editing services will I receive when you have a bundle package? This does decide on what. Oh my goodness. This does depend on which features you basically activated when you posted your project. So by default, you're going to get an essential editor that covers your grammar, punctuation, your spelling, that kind of thing. That's by default. And then you will, if you upgrade it to line editing, that will then give you, the additional edits. They're going to go over your content one more time, to do the line editing, which will cover the redundancies and that kind of thing. So it does depend on what you chose, which options you did choose. If you only chose essential editing and you want to upgrade to line editing, we are definitely able to do that. So you can just reach out to us personally, and or just email us, and we will be able to upgrade that for you. We'll just invoice you, and we can cover that. So we can add that to your order. Then beta readers. We don't have any beta readers, not at the moment, but you can outsource those. You can send them to friends and family, so you don't have to pay anyone for that as well. But we don't have beta readers at the moment. So if you have a bundle, of course, we have multiple bundles for you to choose from as well, all of them including different things. So difficult for me to say everything that's included in your bundle, but yeah, you're definitely going to get the writing, the editing, the ebook and paperback formatting, and the cover designs. And then if you've upgraded from there into other into higher bundles, then of course you're going to get more items. Oh, thank you, Aruna. um, okay, I am just going over some things, seeing if there's anything else. Okay, I think let me see. Okay, there's one more. If you've read through your book to check it and then the editor works on it, do you have to read the book again before publishing? Yes. It is very, very, very important to read your book multiple times. Whether whether you're the one writing it, whether you have a ghostwriter writing it, it is super important to read it after the editor is done with it as well. So read it once it's written, once you have your second draft, when you're writing it yourself, once the ghostwriter is done with it, and then of course after the editor as well, to make sure that everything is 100% the way that you want it before publishing. Okay. I think that covers everything. Those are all the questions. If we missed anything, again, we will go in and message everybody and respond to their questions as well. And if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to us. We are more than happy to hop on a call, email, chat, whatever works for you. Go ahead and reach out to us. Our next slide actually has all of our contact details. So you can email us, or you can give us a call, or you can visit theurbanwriters.com, go to contact us, and you'll be able to see all of our contact details there as well. Yeah, have an absolutely wonderful day ahead, everybody. Have a lovely long weekend if you're taking a long weekend. And yeah, have an awesome day, weekend, night, wherever you are. Just have a lovely time. All right, bye.